Hey guys and gals, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Ink. This time, obviously the background is a little bit different. I am coming to you from Dallas, Texas, and I'm guest spotting at world famous Dallas Tattoo and Arts Company, located in Dallas. Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
Today I've got Josh Pierce, and it's a very good, he's got a very great story. So I'm sure we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna.
Well, I do my
take a
best to
trip.
be interesting.
Yeah, you know.
And I've really accomplished that.
You really accomplished that of being interesting. We're working on a scar tissue cover-up, biomechanical.
Revealing my
robo arm.
replaced shoulder.
That's right.
Yeah.
He had a shoulder replacement. It was a full.
Yeah, a reverse shoulder replacement on the left side. So instead of the humeral head being where it should be, that's where the socket is, and the socket's where the humeral head should be. So, yeah, it's reversed.
Very interesting. How's it? Does it get like issues when you're?
I don't have the best range of motion. Partially that's just because I didn't do enough rehab because I was more worried about dying. But yeah.
But I digress. Let's take you back just a little bit and pretty much talk about what this tattoo means as far as how did it come about? Like when you were thinking about this, you were thinking about it for a few years, right? I
mean, like a decade or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thought process behind it, like I really loved the Biomech designs. I would just see them and I would start to save Biomech designs wherever I would find them. Mm-hmm. And I thought that it would be a good idea to incorporate. I mean, I've got the replaced shoulder. I might as well show it off.
Right.
I did a pretty good amount of rehab and happened to get it put in. If it's not being seen, then what's the fun in that?
Exactly.
So I kind of, tried to incorporate some of my history with the Biomech design.
Okay. And so how did you get to this spot as far as where you are now? What led you up to here, or what was the whole circumstances behind?
Like the inciting incident of everything?
Yes.
The inciting incident. Okay, I was a senior in high school. I turned 18 in August of 2002. And about September was the first month of class. I thought I was just really out of shape. I had a first period bowling class.
First period bowling class?
Bowling, yeah, to get rid of my athletic credit. And so, I took bowling.
Yeah.
And I was, exhausted and sweaty. I was, 6'4", 285.
Oh, geez.
So I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
And, but, I thought I was just massively out of shape because I was, drenched in sweat by the time I was done. And my second period class was on the third floor of a walkout building. And so by the time I got to the top, my head was on my desk and I was basically passing out. And so I would get these massive headaches, and the only way they would go away is if I just laid down and did nothing.
Yeah.
And so finally, my mom's like, fine, we'll go to the doctor, whatever. No one believed me, really, that there was actually something going wrong.
Something wrong. They're just kind of suck it up, you'll be fine.
Yeah, basically. Well, I didn't like waking up in the morning for classes anyway, so...
That's right, you're not a morning person.
I kind of fed into so that didn't help. But it was the first time I got my blood taken.
Uh-huh.
And it took them a week to come back. But when they came back, I was I was more than a court low. I needed 4 bags of blood over 3 days.
Damn.
Yeah, it was I was extremely anemic. I was I was probably maybe halfway what you're supposed to have, considering your red blood count.
Yeah.
And so they didn't know what the hell was going on.
Oh,
and so because I had taken an antibiotic earlier in the month, they were worried that that was causing my bone marrow to be suppressed.
Yeah.
And so when they finally got around to doing a bone marrow test, they wouldn't give me any pain medication. So I did
So you had to have
a bone marrow biopsy where they literally,
just jam it in you.
yeah, right into your bone and take out a sample of your bone marrow. And did it with no pain medication or anything after, not even Tylenol. Uh, and so that was a blast.
Nice.
But it came back as myelofibrosis, which is a type of, they call it a type of leukemia, at least my doctors did.
Uh-huh.
But basically, my bone marrow had been scarred to the point where it wouldn't produce red blood cells.
Okay.
And red blood cells are what take the oxygen around your body. So it made sense that I was constantly exhausted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so at least things started to add up.
So how old were you when they finally diagnosed you?
This all happened like super fast. So I was
17?
18,
18?
when I got diagnosed, and then started to go downhill fast. So I was needing like 2 bags of blood every 2 to 3 weeks. And by December of 2002, I was needing like 3 to 4 bags a week.
Oh, damn.
So I was progressing really fast. Myelofibrosis is normally like a chronic thing that like can be managed.
Okay.
And so mine was just, it was acute. It was very bad, very quick.
They don't really consider it like life-threatening per se, or
Well,
in the beginning?
not at the, especially not in the beginning. And also I was really rare. It's not a common disease to begin with. And the population who's normally diagnosed with it, like 90% or more, are over the age of 50.
Oh, shit.
So I'm 18 and I've got a disease that's
An
an
older
old
person. Yeah.
Yeah. So like my joke is I liked history, politics, religion
Yeah.
when I was 14 years old. So I was an old soul in a young body, and someone told my body. So it gave me a bunch of old diseases.
Oh, that's...
Yeah. That's the way I rationalize it in my head, at least.
Yeah.
Because you have to do something. So
What'd your parents think when, like...
So when
Probably the worst.
It wasn't a happy time.
Well, yeah. They were probably like, hey, good job, son.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
an overachiever.
Well, yeah, I tried to be interesting. Like my doctors would always, my mom was like talking to one of my doctors once, and she's like, I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry, Josh is so difficult. And my doctor's like, he's not difficult. He's a wonderful patient. It's just, it's always an interesting case because it's never normal. So nothing I get is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so we have to, like I said, I try to be interesting, and I was really good at being interesting for doctors. That my case was the most challenging hematological patient they had ever had. And one of the doctors in his group was like one of the first to do bone marrow transplants. So
And so he was the one questioning or saying like, yeah, this kid's fucked.
Yeah, basically. For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the first thing they do is they test your siblings to see if they're a match for a stem cell transplant. And
you have...
I have
two
siblings. I've got a younger brother and a younger sister.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the fact that my brother did not like getting his blood taken at all. So after being stuck and stabbed and
prodded,
I took enjoyment in that. But
when he sees this, he's gonna be like,
oh,
"Hey,
yeah.
fuck you, pal."
Yeah, basically. Hi, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my sister was a champ about it, but he was a baby.
She likes needles.
She does like needles. She's got a lot of tattoos.
Yep.
So yeah. But so the counselor basically took us and came out in the waiting room and tells my mother and my father that neither of his siblings are a match. So basically, she's telling them,
like,
we don't know what's going to happen. He might die.
You're
and
gonna
they're
die.
doing this in the waiting room. And so my mother breaks down and just starts bawling. And my dad just like looks at, and just like, why are you doing this out here? Take us back into the office.
Yeah,
and,
couldn't you have a little more tact?
Yeah, a little bit of empathy, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little.
Most doctors don't. It's really crazy.
And this was a counselor, so it's not even a doctor.
Oh,
so
shit.
it was like, that's your job, is to be like the patient
The buffer.
care person.
Yeah.
So they went in and started doing countrywide searches to find a donor.
Yep.
Nothing really came back. But I was going downhill so fast that they were ready to go with 90% tissue type matches.
So just something to keep you alive, basically.
That was kind of
At that
like
point.
that was the stopgap. They don't want to do it because more than likely there will be more issues after where your body's trying to reject it.
Yeah.
But they gave it another week and they just providence, so the hand of God, they found a 100% tissue type match.
100% match.
And yeah, so like they took me in right away, and we started on the massively high dose chemotherapy. And
Yeah. Did you lose all your hair, everything?
yeah, all my
And
hair, and like I got like conscious about it. Like I started like, because I would always touch my eyebrows and start pulling on them, and like so they were all falling out. Like
Oh, damn.
everything was falling out.
What about ball hairs? Same
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
I don't even remember, because I like at that point, like
Was the last thing you're worried about?
absolutely the last thing I'm worried
It's pretty
about.
fucking funny, dude. You're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, reverse puberty.
Yeah, basically.
Just ball hairs falling
Like this
off.
just happened like a couple years ago, and now it's just reversing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Babe.
So they put me in. One of my favorite things is the first day they put me in, my friend brought a poster, and it had like all these idyllic scenes of like islands and beautiful water.
Something to
sunset.
focus on?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my doctor had mentioned that like he thought that young men heal faster if they have scantily clad women to look at.
Oh, of course.
So on the other side, it had like Maxim
Some models?
cutouts and yeah, Victoria's Secret. But my friend was putting it on the wall, and it fell, and it hit the code blue the first day I'm on the unit.
Oh, damn.
So all the nurses run into my room
Yes.
as my friend is just like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to."
And their adrenaline is
It hits-
jacked when a code blue goes off.
The nurse that was my nurse that night was like, she was on the ICU side of the bone marrow unit, and they told me he was okay. They told me he was not, that there wasn't anything wrong. And so, then I
code.
yeah, I introduced myself in a very, not a good way.
Right.
So it's like I'm introducing myself to all these people who are going to be stabbing me repeatedly and taking me to the edge of death, and I just pissed them all off.
Yeah. Hey, hi.
Yeah.
I'm your patient.
Yeah.
Who's gonna piss you off
So,
right away.
yeah, like you do the high dose chemotherapy for a week. It kills off your bone marrow. You go to like zero immune system.
Because
and-
chemo just basically kills you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why they don't give it to you for the common cold. It's
Yeah.
pretty toxic stuff. It's not good. And they're giving me pretty much the highest dose they can.
Jeebus.
So they then infuse. It's a very anticlimactic organ transplant. You think of an organ transplant, and you're thinking like pager.
Like, yeah.
The doctor's called. You
Running
have to rush
with
to the hospital.
yeah, with the igloo, and you know, you
Yeah.
gotta back out of the way. I got a fucking ice box, and it
Exactly.
has.
And that's just not what it is. It's very yeah,
Lackluster.
it's kind of depressing. And you're like, I wanted some of that excitement, but all the excitement came later. But it's
Yeah.
just like they literally hang a bag of stem cells, and it infuses into your body like a
Just like a blood transfusion,
Yeah.
or just anything.
like
Yeah.
if you're giving blood, it's basically the reverse process. That's pretty much it. But the next day, you wake up with 105 fever,
Oh,
and
shit.
you can't move, and your body is fighting off these foreign objects that have
Yeah.
just been infused.
Yeah.
So I got my stem cell transplant and was in for a couple more weeks. My alive day, my second birthday is December 19th
Very
of
cool.
2002. So like that's can't ever forget that. And was out of there within like the first couple weeks of January. So, and this is my senior year of high
Yes,
school.
you got a shit ton planned.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of
like
things going on.
So as they're weaning me off of the medications that they the steroids that they give you to keep your body from rejecting the new stem cells.
Yeah.
They finally get me down to 0, and so, which is a bitch of a process where you're nauseous and vomiting all the time, and it's just not fun. And yeah, it's
throwing up.
overall not the best time. And but so 2 weeks before I'm set to walk the stage of graduation, I'm going to do the one normal thing.
Yes.
My senior year of high school.
Yes.
And
Because you weren't able to go to prom?
no prom,
No formals,
no homecoming,
That
nothing.
sucks.
Yeah. So this is the one normal thing I'm going to get to do. And 2 weeks before, my platelets crash out of nowhere.
Oh,
I have to
shit.
be put back into the hospital. They have to jack up the anti-rejection drugs to a hell of a lot twice a day.
So did they think you were just rejecting everything and just that was that?
They didn't have a fucking clue.
Wow.
There was no idea what was going on. So basically, it was literally throw everything against the wall
Yeah.
and hope something sticks,
Yep.
because they just didn't know what was going on.
Yep.
And which is, yeah, it's a very...
Which is modern medicine.
Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah. There's a reason they call it the practice of medicine.
Yeah.
It is not perfected.
I think it's horrible when they use that after they fucked up. Well, I'm just practicing.
It's the practice of medicine.
When are
It's
you
like,
going to get proficient?
You're going to
at
have
this,
to. You're going to have to step your game up at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
There should be a limit to how long you can practice before we can call you a doctor
Professional.
or a professional. Yeah. Like
yeah.
an apprentice.
And so, like I said, my doctor called me the most challenging hematological patient he'd ever had. So he
Could be worse. He could have called you something way different.
Yeah, he could have. And I I wore that as a badge of honor. And I always said, if you're going to be sick, you might as well be interesting.
Right.
So I definitely accomplished that.
He's like, you're the worst patient ever.
Yeah,
You're
basically.
damn right.
Yeah. So my platelets have crashed. They don't know what's going on. They jack up my steroids. They're basically trying everything.
Yep.
And they've done apheresis, which is basically they put a massive catheter in the femoral artery in your leg,
Uh-huh.
take your blood out, clean it, and put it back into your body.
This is like dialysis.
Yeah, basically. It's basically dialysis.
Yep.
And so that didn't work. Platelets didn't recover after that. So they go to the next step, which is, okay, we think possibly your spleen is eating your platelets. So we're going
Delicious.
to have to take you into surgery and cut out your spleen. So the surgeon was he was really psyched about this because I had about 3,000 platelets at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
And you're supposed to have around 150 to 300,000.
Oh, jeez.
So he's worried about me bleeding out on the table. But it comes out, and my platelets recover to about 75,000 in the first hour.
Yeah.
And in the second hour, they're back to 1,000. So wasn't that
So they took your spleen out
for
just
basically no reason?
for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow. I mean, you're 18. You've got all this.
Well, I'm like 19 or 20 by now, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but basically, yeah.
You're a young adult. You're you're a young man.
Yeah.
Well, let's backtrack that a minute. I say you're a young man, but at this point, the transplant is done. You've
Yes.
already got. So, who was
And
your donor? 100% donor.
My 100% match, and oddly enough, like you're not supposed to know where they are
Uh-huh.
in the world, but like a snowstorm hit the Carolinas,
Okay.
and my donor, like they were ready for the transplant, and they had to delay it because of weather issues.
Yeah.
So we have been able to narrow down the geographic location to, to
find you a
yeah,
donor, yeah.
yeah. So I was able to figure out where she was.
So it was a
But
female.
it is a woman
Yes.
who is my 100% match, which is not the most common thing.
Yeah.
And so basically, once they kill off my bone marrow and it seeds in my body, it starts to grow new marrow. the stem cells grow new marrow,
Yeah.
which is what produces all your blood cells and basically everything. So the fun part for that for me is that now on a chromosome test, I show up as a woman.
Yes. He does.
I have the paperwork somewhere at my parents' house. I don't know where it is. I wanted to get it framed, but like,
So-
other shit kept happening, so
Yeah.
like it just never occurred.
I think
but
the first time you told me that, I was like,
yeah, you stop down for a minute on that.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Just, Jacob, what?
Yeah.
You're a woman. Like, or chromosomes are
Yeah.
now female.
If they test my blood, I show up as a woman. At least this is how it was explained to me.
Yeah.
And
it changed your blood type.
and it flipped my blood type as well. So I
Yes.
started off as A positive, and now I am O positive. So
The human body, I swear, amazing.
it flipped everything around. So I have to be careful and remember that you're not A positive anymore. You're O positive.
That's right.
Make sure.
And make sure
Yeah.
you tell them if something ever happens. And that was just funny because remember the last, I was the last trip I was here when we were talking, you were telling me about all that. And I had made a comment about Dallas drivers are insane.
Yeah.
Like, I've used all my training from having California drivers,
Which are
Arizona
not the best.
drivers, fucking nuts. And then out here is like a combination between all of them. But some of the women, like everyone I pulled up, it was like a woman. So women drivers are just like outrageous out here. And then you told me,
I resemble that remark. I am a woman driver, technically.
and that was pretty funny. So I was like, just thought I'd share that with everybody there. And
Yeah.
That's, again, the amazing human body. And what we can withstand, and two,
What medical science has been able to
yeah,
remanufacture, and this.
like,
yeah.
like what's crazy is I always think back to Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park when he says,
Yeah.
"Life will find a way,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it's
know?
a lot of medical science pushing it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put enough money behind, they'll find a way to figure something out.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And that's basically, who would think that a bone marrow transplant or a stem cell transplant is what's going to cure a blood cancer? But yeah, it worked for me.
And so,
I wouldn't highly recommend it, but
yeah,
it beats the alternative of not living.
true.
I did the depressed thing, and that was boring enough for a while. So,
How bad was that?
oh, that was bad.
So those are your darker years then, like you fell in and you were like, fuck this.
Like after I had gotten both hips replaced, both shoulders replaced, one shoulder twice, like I was just in the place of something else is going to go wrong. I don't know when it's going to happen, but
So you were just,
yeah, I was resigned to the fact that nothing was going to happen in my life that was going to be positive, really.
yeah.
That I would likely die young, and sorry, mom and dad, but possibly of my own hand. This was constantly in the back of my mind just because I was just in a dark place.
So
And
suicide was definitely a thought at one point.
and I could never, I definitely wouldn't have done it just because I couldn't have done that to my parents.
Yeah.
Like, especially after what they had done to me. My siblings, I was okay with you guys. But,
Sorry, Sibs.
yeah. But, yeah, I couldn't, yeah. But
Yeah, suicide is obviously it's very selfish.
it is a very selfish act, and that was one of the things that I could never wrap my hand around. Like, because especially...
Someone's got to find you.
Yeah. And that was the thing that held me back. That was the thing that always stopped me.
Yeah.
Is my mom, after, staying with me in the hospital and, nursing me back and, being my constant companion for how could I do this to someone who has done so much for me?
It's almost like I mean, well, it's proverbial, the ultimate slap in the face. She's
It
been
really
there for
is.
you,
Yes.
night and day.
And
You're
I'm
going off
taking
yourself,
the
kill
easy,
yourself. Yeah.
the easy way out, which, I mean, truthfully, didn't seem that easy at the time, but
Yeah.
it, it, yeah, it was years and years of being in that mindset of, I
Well, I'm gonna
just
die
don't
anyway.
give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I would literally take like a handful of pills and just zone out because pain was so bad that I just wanted to sleep for a couple days and not have to deal with the pain.
Yeah.
Because my shoulders were at the point that they just hurt constantly and at such a high level that it just wasn't it. Yeah.
And if you've dealt with chronic pain to where it's so bad and it's excruciating,
Yes.
every waking hour, every day, you can't sleep.
There
You've
is no
got
comfortable
there's
position
no
to
comfort.
be in.
No.
There-
Then
yeah.
it is a real
You
thought.
get yeah.
You know, you're like, I just don't want to be in pain anymore. And you sit there and you're just like, fuck, man. Like,
Maybe it would be easier.
maybe it would be easier if I wasn't here, you know, and then that leads to, well, I'm a burden on
My
all
family.
my family
Yes.
and the medic, and then you start thinking logically, like, oh, this is going to cost
They
so
would
much
be
money.
better financially.
Exactly.
There would be maybe it would hurt initially, but
They'll
there
get
would
over
be
it.
less
Yeah.
of an emotional hit.
Yeah.
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 These are all things that I thought in my mind. I actually, what was it? My Comp 2 class at TCC at Tarrant County College, the community college that my mother works at, and that I went to get my basics out of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a couple, but anyway, we read like a brief little blurb about The Fault in Our Stars, that
Yep.
young adult novel about basically kids with cancer.
Yep.
And like the blurb said something about how the author had hit it out of the park at knowing kind of how someone's thinking, especially a young person who's going
Yeah.
through all this. And I was like, oh, I got to read this to see if he actually did. And he did. He nailed it. And one of the lines that like still to this day is what I felt for the longest time was the protagonist basically says, I'm a hand grenade and I'm eventually going to explode and destroy the people who are closest to me.
Yeah.
And I felt the exact same way. I'm actually getting emotional. Yeah, I felt the exact same way for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I withdrew as much as I could from my family and my friends.
Yep.
Just because I didn't want to be. I just felt that eventually I was going to explode.
You didn't want
the collateral damage to affect these people.
And because they're your loved ones. They're the ones that are not supposed to go through this with you, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not supposed to be like this. Like, it's just not supposed to fucking be like this. Like,
Well, and I'm the oldest sibling too, and I always felt guilty about my brother kind of had to step up a little bit more
yeah.
than I think he probably should have. He probably maybe disagrees. I don't know. You can comment on this, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe too.
Yeah. Subscribe and like.
Yeah.
One of the things that my physical medicine doctor had, because I was starting to like gain back weight. So I was slowly creeping back towards 300 pounds.
Okay.
Like
so
going all the way down to like 160 and creeping back
yeah.
up. Just because, not doing anything
Yeah.
and not exactly eating healthy. So,
Yeah.
So you're starting to gain back weight. And my physical medicine doctor, Dr. Amy Wilson, hi to you.
Hi, Amy.
She,
Phenomenal doctor.
absolutely. Like she immediately got my trust when she believed that my hips actually hurt, and she sent me for, like, it was 3 days into my visit at BIR, and I was like, whatever you say, I'm doing from now on. And she told me about an adaptive gym that was literally 5 minutes from my house.
Now, an adaptive gym is just designed
It is basically for people who are mobility impaired.
Yeah.
So people in wheelchairs,
Okay.
quads or paras, MS patients, stroke patients.
Okay.
It's adaptive equipment and people that help you out to help you work out. And she had told me about it a few years before, and I went by and was like, I'm just not in the headspace. That wasn't like the
It wasn't
rationale,
you-
but I
yeah.
just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I didn't wind up doing it. But
Did
when
you ever do like, this isn't me, I'm not there yet, I'm not.
I didn't vocalize, I didn't think about it in that way, but I
Yeah.
just like, I didn't care and was in that dark place that I just, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck this. I'm not doing that. And I got to about 290 pounds, and
Oh, wow.
I was like, I guess, sure, fine. So this was August of 2015, and I was like, all right, I'll try it out.
Uh-huh.
And if you're in the Dallas area, Neurofitness Foundation in Euless, it's a good place.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I started working out and got to the point where I was doing like I was doing like almost 150 minutes on basically a stationary bike that I could pull my chair up to, like 3 times a week. So I would go just like 100 RPMs for 150 minutes, and when you're doing that, see weight starts to come off.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh shit, my shoulder's not hurting as much either.
Yeah.
And I'm not in this mindset of fuck it all.
Yeah.
And I'm actually becoming involved in like a community and like talking to people and doing things. And I started back to school, and weight just keeps coming off, and my mindset keeps getting better, and I start transitioning from the I don't give a shit about anything to like,
Maybe there's.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I can make something out of this.
Yeah.
I can go to school. I can, like, my dream had always been working for Jon Stewart on The Daily Show. Then he
That's
left.
right.
You
That's
bastard. You bastard. You left. Trevor, you're doing a good job, but still, I love John. And
Now, is that your woman talking? Or is it,
no,
I'm kidding.
no. He's got
amazing
such a
hair.
wicked sense of humor.
And he has amazing hair too. So.
He's got some pretty good hair. Well,
Eh.
also, I loved after 9/11, all the politicians wrapped themselves in the flag,
Yeah.
but they had to fight so hard, these 9/11 survivors, to get their medical funding paid for, and Jon Stewart got it done, and along with like other news outlets like Shepard Smith at Fox News, like they shamed lawmakers into actually paying for these firefighters who were getting these unbelievably terrible diseases.
Yeah.
But Jon Stewart, now it's John Oliver because Jon Stewart left, but that's the dream.
That's the dream.
And that's the dream gig. And so like I started community college, so I figured
again.
I
You were
was
optimistic.
realistic about it too. Like it had been 12 years since I'd been in a classroom. And I like started with one class, and I was like, all right, we'll do a history class because I love history.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is something that I'm massively passionate about.
Yep.
And so let's start with something I
too.
enjoy and see how this goes. And I kind of fucked up a little bit because I got 100% in that class. So it was like, oh, I got 100%. Great. Oh, there's nowhere left to go but down. So a little bit, kind of screwed up a little bit, but I also have a fucked up sense of mind, sense of thought. So yeah. Like
Birds of a feather.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, started with one class in like fall of 2016. Then I was like, all right, I think I can do this. So I added 2 classes in the spring of 2017.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Then I did 2 during the summer, during a single summer term, like a 5-week session, which is a lot of work. And so
You're highly.
and I did a foreign language. One of the classes was a foreign language, so it was, like, I liked it because it was every day of the week, but it was just a lot of work.
Yeah.
but I realized, okay, I can do this. So then I start full time in the fall of 2017, and then haven't looked back since, and have now transferred over to University of North Texas, and am working at the television station, and am producing 2 of the noon news programs, and am looking to expand from there, and continue to grow.
Yeah.
And do more.
Which is kind of cool because prior to us starting here,
Yeah.
he interviewed me.
Yes.
For
Today,
your-
like prior to
like,
today,
prior
like,
to
yeah,
now. This,
like
yeah,
like 4 hours ago.
yeah. Yeah, I was on the opposite end of the camera, and he's interviewing me
Yeah.
about everything that,
Yeah.
what led me
Like,
to here.
Various. Yeah. I figured this would be kind of an interesting story.
I think it's a great
I
story.
think it's pretty good.
I mean, occasionally,
I mean, we're biased a little.
Yeah, it's my long flowing hair and boyish good looks.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's except for my voice right now.
But yeah, all the allergies.
Yeah, allergies are killing me. So I'm not going to look forward to hearing myself today as far as what.
Well, I never look forward to hearing myself. Like yeah, one of the guys who's in my news producers class last semester, like we pitched a story and then we did it about the infrastructure around UNT, which if anyone from UNT is watching, you need to step your game up because your sidewalks suck, and I've been flipped several times in my wheelchair.
Man. And
so, yeah. So we did that story, and it was basically my story, and a lot of it was written by me. And he's like, who do you want to record the voiceover? And I was like, that's all you. I'm not a fan of my voice.
Yeah, I only get like okay with my voice if I'm doing stand up or if I'm doing or I'll do this like right now my voice is all jacked up because of my allergies. But if I want it to be a really good, like I could do this and be like, hey, I'm gonna do my whole interview just like this. I'm from Dallas, Texas. This is Matt Valdez. You're watching Beyond the Ink. And in the morning I sound like Barry White.
Yeah.
I'm like.
See, that's always like whenever I'm sick, like that's the only thing I like is like my voice actually drops a couple octaves.
I call
like,
and
score.
I talk. I'm
that's
like,
when I need to do my voicemail message.
Yes, like, hey girl, what's going on? I mean, it's just that's the true shit, or I'll just call people and randomly sell shit, like, good evening, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. This is Matt, and I'm calling from.
That's a pretty good news voice too.
If I was in news, I mean, I do have a face for radio, so
yeah,
I can.
So true.
And
they don't exactly like both of us are hat people. They don't exactly encourage hats on camera.
Well, I'm a hat person because I have a pointy fucking head, and these are the only ones that
true.
really just.
He does have a pointy head.
Kind of mash it in there and looks somewhat normal, but I do speak very fluent white boy, so and it's so funny because I'll talk to somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
And I will speak to them a little more articulate than normal, and then they see me, and they go, "You were the one on the phone?" Like,
wow. And then you go, "How racist are you?"
Yeah, I'm all racist much.
So, like right now, I'm working on. Like I am producing 2 of the news broadcasts for at noon.
Okay.
And then I do whatever else basically is needed. So I'll help out with, like we're doing a live show. We did one last Thursday, and we're doing one next Thursday. So I just will help out and do whatever is needed of me. Proofread scripts and research
cool.
and whatever.
You hear people in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in Tattoo Shop, folks. Yeah, I don't know how the audio is going to be, especially, but
Yeah,
it'll be
and this
fun.
is the first time
I've had
in
to
this
do
location.
That's right. First time.
Outside of your own studio.
Outside of my own little studio, and there will be more. We're going to be traveling all over the place.
Yeah, where's like a dream spot that you would still like to, would you want to shoot in Milan? And
I would love to shoot.
That would be amazing.
I would love to shoot in Milan. I would love to shoot in Ireland, Alaska.
See, Ireland.
I think it would be just. If I could go to
Vancouver,
Scotland,
beautiful.
that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful scenery, excellent yeah, Ireland, definitely, Scotland,
Yeah,
just like the lush green.
I think so. I mean, shooting in an old prison would be pretty cool. I think would be.
That would be, yeah,
I think that would be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
Alcatraz, that would
Alcatraz
be interesting.
would be a cool thing. Being from
Can you-
California and
Well, I mean,
know.
like, tattoo culture has gone through the prison system, and like that's such an
still
iconic,
is. Yeah.
iconic facility that, I mean,
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
you'll
I
have
agree.
ghosts talking to you about what they
Right?
got done.
You'll hear it on like, the white noise and everything. You
Yeah.
hear, oh shit.
What did they like use to make their tattoo machine? Like, wouldn't it like they would use like a record player, like the
The
stylus?
Walkman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The stylus from a record player, and they would the Walkman. I remember
The Walkman was a big
seeing
thing.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to make a tattoo, or to actually make a tattoo machine. None of which I recommend,
Yeah,
but
it's probably not
there are
good.
a lot of ways to do it. So, this is a spicy spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as creating one, I would love to shoot just in some cool spots, and I just want to go to a place where the stories are. So the more
Yeah.
historical, I mean, if you live in a good spot and you want your story told, or you have a good story, comment down below. Give me a little like, thumbs up, subscription, and then yeah, let us know. I mean, I'll travel. I travel everywhere, so I'll come to you. Tagline.
Yeah.
I'll come all over the place for you. No, I wouldn't do that, but I'm just probably a dad joke. I'm kidding.
That's a fucked up
That's
dad.
a pretty fucked up father. Yeah. So, if you're still with us, I mean, it's a great story. Thank you, dude, for taking all your time and letting me not only create this, but your story is amazing. We'll probably have a part 2, not gonna lie. And if you're still with us, like I said, down below, hit the like button, share it, comment, subscribe. And if you want to be on Beyond the Ink, your story is good, again, comment down below, email, find us on social media. And yeah, thanks again for hanging out with Josh and I on Beyond the Ink. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.